What's up, guys? RyHo here, yet again with another Oh the Horror, and today I wanted to talk about a film that I rewatched just recently. It's one that it's a classic. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I actually only recently saw this in the last maybe 5-6 years. I got into this one late. Totally missed it when I was a kid somehow. And as you can see by the title, I'm talking about Phantasm. This is a 1978 classic from Coscarelli. Maybe not his first film, or it might have been actually, but regardless, he was a very young director. This movie is completely, I think, paid for by his folks. I think his parents produced this film, and he wrote it at a young age and put it together and made a really classic sort of sci-fi horror film, but more on the horror end than I would say on the sci-fi end. But definitely some sci-fi elements in here. Basically, the storyline in this is you have a young boy named Michael and his older brother Jody. Their parents have died many years ago. Jody comes back to their hometown because a friend of his has passed away, and he meets up with his friend Reggie, and they go to the funeral and all that stuff. And Michael, in trying to spy on them and see what they were doing, basically notices some weird shit going on at Morningside Cemetery, involving the main antagonist of the film, played by Angus, Scrimm, a great character actor. This is the Tall Man. And basically, Michael gets into it too deep. Jody gets involved, and they're basically fighting for their lives against the Tall Man and his minions. And I won't give anything else away if you haven't seen the film, but this is one of those ones you just gotta see, guys. I really can't say anything bad about it. It has just a really, now I guess the term is old school, but it has one of those, it's just really classic look and feel to it, just like your old horror films and stuff like that. The film is actually, this version of it is heavily edited. I haven't listened to the commentary on it, but I think they probably talk about some of it in here. I believe the real cut of the film is much longer, like nearly 4 hours or something crazy like that, or maybe 3 hours. Very, very long film, and you can see that some of the stuff's cut out. I know, there's one scene in particular where Reggie and Michael and Jody are at Jody and Michael's house, wherever it is they're living, and there's this scene where they're walking through, and all of a sudden this woman comes out of nowhere. Her name is like Myrtle or something like that, I can't remember. And she scares the shit out of Reggie, and he totally acts like, oh my god, you scared me, like she's supposed to be there, but she's not in the film before that, she's not in the film after that. I have no idea who this woman is. I have no idea if Michael lives with her when Jody's not around. I have no idea what's going on. It's totally crazy, but the film has, it's so unique in its delivery. Like I said, there's a lot of sci-fi going on here. The Tall Man is a totally different kind of character. He also has these little minions here that you can see that totally look like Jawas from Star Wars. And, that's one of the things that people say about this film, I think, that he ripped off the Jawas. But, like, this came out in 78 or 79, and Star Wars, the first Star Wars, that came out in 77, I think, like something like that. So, I mean, if he was making this film at the same time of his Star Wars release, it's hard to think that he somehow ripped off the Jawas from Star Wars. And, I don't know, it's just, they're a different kind of character anyway once you get down to it, but I guess as an easy way to display them, he had, little people run around in hoods, and that's how he made his little monster. And it's a cheap way of doing that, and a good idea. But yeah, a lot of people, they complain about that. And there was one thing too that I noticed that it seems like it's sort of lifted, but I don't know, it's maybe an homage to, who knows. But there's this scene where Michael, the young boy, he goes to see a woman, a witch or a fortune teller or something, and she can see the future, and he's trying to ask some questions, and eventually she puts this like box in front of him, and he puts his hand into it, and it hurts him, and basically, he's told, don't fear it, and that he needs to get over his fear. And basically it's something that plays out later in the film. He gets over his fear, and then he can take his hand out of the box. And that's totally lifted from, this isn't the book, but if you guys have ever read the Dune series by Frank Herbert, this is the 4th book in the series, God, Emperor of Dune. His son has gone on and done a lot of sequels now. I think his name's Brian J. Herbert or something like that. But in the first one of these, the main character of the first set of books, Paul, has this scene where he's tested by these women, and they make him put his hand in this box that causes him pain, and he gets over it by getting over his fear. basically the same premise as this whole thing with Michael. So that seems like it's kind of lifted, but like really it doesn't matter. Uh, you know, this is still, no matter what, a very original, very unique, different kind of movie. Very cool how they filmed some of it, and how they sort of skirted around a lot of the costly effects that they might have needed. There's also this really cool mechanic of the spheres. You can see on the cover there, these killer spheres that burrow into a person's head. There's not a lot of gore in this film, but there is one very gory scene that involves the sphere, of course. But again, it's an atmospheric effort, really fun to watch, and one that just should not be missed. So if you haven't seen this already somehow, go out and get your hands on Phantasm. I think this DVD is easy enough to get. This is the Anchor Bay Collection one. I know that Phantasm 2 recently came out on DVD as well. I haven't picked it up yet, and I actually haven't seen any other Phantasm films except for this one. I hear lots about them, and I would like to see 2, but I hear the DVD sucks. But regardless, I'd still like to check it out. I think you guys definitely have to see this if you haven't, which, you know, the chances of that are pretty slim. I think most people have seen this. It's probably out on Blu-ray now too, I don't know. But yeah, that is Phantasm, Don Coscarelli. So go check it out, guys. Anyway, I guess that's my spiel for today. Hope you enjoyed it. And you know, feel free to subscribe, check out the videos whenever you want, and I thank you. So take it easy, guys. Peace. I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at the cover of this. Look how beat up it is. Can you see that? I'm looking at it funny here. Let's try it this way. You can see it there on the side, next to Michael. It's all dinged up. I took this on a work trip with a couple other DVDs, and it also is supposed to have a slipcase. And I packed it in with the rest of my stuff. You know, I slipped it into some shirts and stuff to give it some padding. And got to my location, wherever I was going, I can't remember now, and was like, I'm going to watch a movie. I went to take it out, and it looked like this. But what's weird is nothing else in my suitcase was like trashed or beat up or anything. And the slipcover was just gone. So I don't know if like something happened where the guys that were hauling my luggage like dropped it or banged it up and wanted to check to make sure nothing was broken, and somehow this got tore up and beat up in the process. But the slipcase is gone. Couldn't tell you where it is. Again, like, and it looks like this thing got chiseled or something. Like, it's really beat up on the front. Really weird. I've never understood that. I wasn't gonna bother to go after the airline for like a DVD, but I would have lost that battle, I think, anyway. But that's kind of fucked up. What are you gonna do? That's good copy.